Gentlemen, we have entered calmer waters. Our ship of state was nearly wrecked, but the gods have kept her safe. So friends, well done. You from the start have been a loyal crew. You stood by Oedipus when he was at the helm, and when his son stepped in to take his place, you stood by them as well. But now they're gone. Two brothers badged red with each other's blood, and I, as next of kin to those dead and doomed, I'm next in line. The throne has come to me. Until a man has passed this test of office and proved himself in the exercise of power, he can't be truly known for what he is, I mean, in his heart and mind and capabilities. Worst is the man who has all the good advice and then because his nerve fails to act in accordance with it as a leader should. And equally to blame is anyone who puts the personal above the overall thing, puts friend or family first. But rest assured, my nerve's not going to fail, and there's no threat that's going to stop me acting, ever, in the interests of all citizens. Nor would I ever have anything to do with my country's enemy. For the patriot, personal loyalty always must give way to patriotic duty. Solidarity, friends, is what we need. The whole crew must close ranks. The safety of our state depends upon it. Our trust, our friendships, our security, good order in the city, and our greatness. Understand, therefore, that I intend to make good what I say by what I do. And hear this first. This ordinance is binding. Concerning the sons of Oedipus, Eteocles, who fell in our defense, Eteocles will be buried with full honors as a hero of his country. But his brother, Polynices, an exile who came back to visit us with fire and sword, a traitor, an anti-Theban, even prepared to kill his countrymen in war, and desperate the shrines of his country's gods. Hear this about Polynices. He is forbidden any ceremonial whatsoever, no keening, no interment, no observance of any of his rites. Hereby he is adjudged a carcass for the dogs and birds to feed on. And nobody, let it be understood, nobody is to treat him otherwise than the obscenity he was and is. This is where I stand when it comes to thieves. Never to grant traitors and subservies, equal footing with loyal citizens, but to honor patriots in life and death.
Loud and clear, King Creon, you have laid down the law. You exercise the power. Your regulations hold for the living and the dead.
And that is why I regard you from now on as agents of the law.
Younger men would be better for that job.
I don't mean you should do work on the ground. Naturally, I have guards out there already as we speak.
Then why do you call us agents of the law?
I mean, you're not to lend the least support to anyone who go against the order.
But
Who would do that? Who would choose to be dead?
Death, yes, it would be. But you never know. There's always money lurking, and I never underestimate the lure of money.
Sir, I wouldn't exactly say I was panting to get here. Far from it. As a matter of fact, I was waiting for turning back. I was over a barrel. One part of me was saying, only a loony would walk himself into this. And another part of me was saying, you'd be a bigger loony to get to Creon first. It was, you take the high road, I'll take the low road, then what's your hurry? Then get a move on. But when all was said and done, there was only one thing for it, get here. Get it out and get it over. No matter what, so here I am, the old dog for the hard road. What will be, says I will be.
What has gotten you into the state, guard?
First off, boss, you must know I'm in the clear. I didn't do that thing. I didn't see who did it, and so, in fairness, I shouldn't be blamed for it.
Why do you need such fences and defenses? Your news is hardly all that desperate.
Desperate enough to panic me, Your Honor.
Then get it out, man, as you say yourself, and get it over.
Well, here's what it is. The corpse. Somebody has as good as buried it. Somebody's after attending it to right, casting it on earth and all the rest.
What are you saying? What man would dare do this?
That, for the life of me, I cannot tell. There wasn't so much as a scrape left on the ground. No sign of pig work for the classic thing. No rut marks from a wheel. Nothing but the lamb, the old hard scrabble. Whoever did it was a mystery man entirely. When the sentry showed us this morning, we were stunned. The corpse had actually gone and disappeared, but then it turned it was only hidden. Under this coat of dust, as if somebody had treated it, just to be on the safe side. Somebody observing all the customs. There were no tears in the flesh, so it could have been wild animals or the dogs. And then the row broke out. Everybody shouting, one man blaming the next, and ready to fight to prove his innocence. We'd have put our hands in the fire to clear ourselves, swearing by this, and that we'd neither done the deed nor knew who did it. And then, when we'd be more or less calmed down, one man speaks and hands us up again. And what he stated was the obvious. You would have to be told. The thing could be hid no longer. So that was agreed, and I was the lucky man. I drew the short straw, and that, sir, is why I'm here. The one that's never welcome, the bearer of bad news.